Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by First Financial Bank. Another step on the path to success. By IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and energy costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. And by Nationwide. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. To find a local agent, visit Nationwide.com. Join the nation. Here on New Year's Eve, a hockey night in Central Ohio, and glad you've tuned in here on Fox Sports Ohio as Sergei Bobrovsky returns to the nets tonight. 8-1-1 in his last 10 games, a .934 save percentage, .225 goals against average, and 1 shutout. At the opposite end, Darcy Kuemper. He'll get the start for the Wild, got off to a great start, 3 shutouts in his first 4 games, and won 6 of his first 8, but of late he has been on the winning side on just 3 of his last 8. The veteran Dan O'Halloran, joined by Frederic Lequier, John Grant McPherson are the linesmen. Wild wearing their road whites, the Jackets in their home blues. It's Koivu and Dubinsky for the opening face-off. Jeff River, Jody Shelley, and Dave Etzel joining you here from Nationwide, and we're underway with Dubinsky winning the opening draw. Up on the right wing boards, the Jackets moving ahead. Corey Tropp, how about that, Jody? Getting elevated here to the line with Matt Calvert. And, of course, the centerman, Dubinsky.
Yeah, he's up there. He's got an opportunity. That's a huge opportunity for Corey Tropp, whose minutes have swelled the last 3 games. And coach sees something in his play here.
Suter sends one wide from the right point. Drilled off the mark. Jackets will pick it up along the right wing boards. A centering feed. Matt Calvert bounces one in on Kuemper. And it's played by Scandella. Suter has struggled since returning from the mumps and hopes to regain that leading edge on the blue line for the Minnesota Wild. How about tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer?
All right, there, key number 1, finish. You get a chance in front of the goalie, Kuemper, put it in the back of the net, finish that play off, be physical tonight. It's New Year's Eve. Bring that energy. And key number 3, have some fun. And Jeff, I'm going to win.
Wicked bounce off the backboard. And the Jackets unable to get to it as Kuemper went one way, the puck came another way.
I looked like it went right behind him off the wall through the crease.
Steered ahead. Jackets play it in their own zone. Savard. On to Jack Johnson for Morin. Through the neutral zone and across the line. Steps away from Coyle, but offside the call. Well, there's a look at Mike Yeo, who is trying to get his hockey club back in gear. Monday, they edged the Jets 3-2 in Winnipeg, snapping that 5-game winless streak.
He's down there with Daryl Sador, former Columbus Blue Jacket, assistant coach for the Minnesota Wild. And they've got a team there with some big free agent signings in Suter and Parise, big expectations. And they see themselves outside the playoff picture right now, a little trying to get things going.
Puck steered to the left wing away from Cook. And it's picked up by Spurgeon, and he'll drill it back in to Columbus territory. Up along the right wing boards, there is Wisniewski. Nick Foligno, how about that? Announced just prior to tonight's game, 6:30 to be exact, that Foligno has re-signed for 6 years. The Jackets making that announcement. He was going to be an unrestricted free agent. And what a year Foligno is having, Jody.
Unbelievable year. Great to hear he's signed. That's one of the big questions I've ran into around town. People want to know, when are they going to start talking? That was about a month ago. When are they going to sign him? Great news for him and the Columbus Blue Jackets fans.
It's a milestone night for Foligno on several fronts. This is his 500th National Hockey League game tonight. Can't think of a better way to celebrate the new year in game 500 than having that new 6-year deal in your back pocket.
That's right. Good shift here by this 4th line. Nick Foligno, like you said, 500 games, gets a new deal. Jackets win tonight. They're at 500.
Hammered in there by Sutter. Jackets behind their own net. Off the wall, to center. Puck turned over. Hammered in there by Brodziak. Far side, Matt Calvert, who we spoke of just prior to puck drop. Played there by Feder Tootin. Tootin in the corner. Jackets, Dalton Prout will move it up. Corey Trop shovels it back. It gets away from Tootin. And Tootin now away from Parise. Hands it here to Prout. Outlet pass on the right wing for Calvert. Gets away. Wild here, Jody, not giving the Jackets much room to work.
No, they're definitely skating. They've been attacking here. The Jackets had one good shift in the offensive zone. But this top line, Parise, Koivu, and Pominville.
Andela, who can certainly fire the puck, sends one high and wide of the net. Again, 9 goals on the year. 4 of them are game winners. And he is just one off the lead by defensemen in the NHL. Let's take a look now at the Elk injury report.
Well, there you go. And you look at the Blue Jackets side here. Gibbons, Letestu, Murray, Atkinson, and Anisimov all skating. All on skates. We saw Anisimov today in a tracksuit on skates. These are all good signs. And looks to be maybe some very early returns in the new year here, Jeff, with maybe even Letestu. Could see Atkinson back on this road trip that starts, team departs tomorrow. Could be a good sign here to start the year.
Without question. During the timeout, the Jackets center ice scoreboard, there's a picture of Nick Foligno in game number 500, and he got quite an ovation here from the crowd.
That's pretty impressive. He's 27 years old, playing his 500th game. That's a pretty quick track to that number.
Now, he's not happy, though. He said he wants to pass his dad, Mike Foligno, who played just over 1,000 games. So he's halfway there.
And 6-year contract. Gee, that'll get him close.
David Savard, Johansson, linked wide, riding a 4-game point scoring streak, but looking to get on the scoreboard for the first time in 12 games. Johansson said he didn't care where he was on the ice, telling me this morning that he was going to shoot from everywhere.
Well, it really parlayed into some great plays and some goals. With him shooting the puck last game against Boston, the Blue Jackets scored some key goals off those plays from Ryan Johansson. Well, it's not a bad idea. He's got to shoot that puck from everywhere.
Alexander Wennberg, Foligno camped at the side of the net. Here's a drive there by Wisniewski, sent wide. Connaughton, 7 points in his last 8 games. 4 of them are goals. And Wisniewski will deal to his defensive partner, Connaughton, who backpedals all the way to the goal line. Talking to Connaughton this morning, Jody, I asked him what came first, the confidence or the opportunity. He said the opportunity came without question first. But that has given him the confidence. And without that opportunity here in Columbus, he wouldn't have the confidence.
Well, it's funny, Jeff. It's a great point that he brings up and great question you asked him. How quick can your confidence fade when you're in and out of the lineup? It's incredible, and especially as a young guy. So to hear him say his confidence is back, it's no surprise to us. We can see it, that there's a lot of confidence in his game. But it's great that he got it back that quick, and the Jackets are definitely benefiting from his just confident play. Great decisions he's making, too.
He has become a key player for the Blue Jackets, both at even strength and on the power play. Adam Kreckner back in the lineup in the absence of Cam Atkinson, who goes on IR, but not likely to stay there for very long. Jackets hope that he'll play on the upcoming road trip at some point. Played here by Parise and across the line. Parise with a shot, gloved by Bobrovsky, and he will hold on. As we go to break, we apologize for the technical issues. We'll have the Fox Box back with time and score as soon as we possibly can.
Back at Nationwide, it's a scoreless game between the Jackets and the Wild. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide. Nationwide, the official sponsor of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Jeff Rimmer, Jody Shelley, Dave Metzel rejoining you here at Nationwide Arena. And again, we apologize for the technical issues. We will endeavor to correct them as quickly as possible. 13:48 left in the opening period, no score. Jackets have outshot the Wild 3-1. The faceoff to the right of Sergei Bobrovsky, and the draw won by Dubinsky. Off the netting and out of play.
Great having Brandon Dubinsky back. He's been back for since December 6th with the team, and I tell you what, you just saw him winning a face-off there. He's done a lot of little things. He hasn't scored a goal yet this year, but he's done a lot of great things out there on the ice in support of all the victories the Blue Jackets have had, and crucial part of this team.
Speaking of victories, the Jackets are perfect in the face-off circle. They've won 6 straight, and Dubinsky's won 4 of those 6 drives. Up along the left wing, Parise dances out of the zone, deals it on the right wing for Pominville. Pominville comes in tonight with a 5-game point scoring streak. And he's had success both with Buffalo and Minnesota against the Blue Jackets. 12 points in 12 career games, and the Jackets have got to pay particular attention to Jason Pominville.
Yeah, he's kind of a quiet player out there, but he's definitely got that knack for the net, good speed, great puck awareness, and he's playing with Koivu and Parise, who are 2 world-class players themselves.
Icing the call against Minnesota, 12:58 left. No score here. New Year's Eve, the Jackets will head out tomorrow, Jody, an extended 4-game road trip. Been a while since the Jackets have had that extended trip.
Yeah, and it's been a very nice homestand here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And how crucial is that to win anywhere, but to have a good feeling heading out onto the road. This December has really turned into something special for the Columbus Blue Jackets in the win department, that's for sure, after a dismal November, due to injury, I might add.
Hammered in by Scott Hartnell, who had a pair of goals against Boston in that 6-2 victory here on Saturday night. This is game 3 of a 3-game stretch, Jody, where the Jackets played 3 games in 13 nights. So they've had chances to practice. In fact, head coach Todd Richards talked this morning about the practices the Jackets have had here just in the last couple of days after that win on Saturday.
Yeah, they weren't long, drawn-out practices. They were short. But let me tell you, they were intense. A lot of hitting, a lot of hard work done out there. And you know, you don't know what to expect as a player. What kind of practices are we going to have when we have 2 and 3 days in between games? And Todd Richards has been very businesslike with his group, and I think that the group appreciates that coming into tonight's game. They look like they got some jump up there.
Wenberg wins the faceoff. Thomas Vanek, our first look at him, the unrestricted free agent. College in the state of Minnesota, signing in the offseason. Pretty lucrative deal. Signed by general manager Chuck Fletcher. Unable to play it. There on that right wing, it's steered ahead. Jackets, Bobrovsky dumps it off into the corner. Putin tried to send it off the wall. 3, count them, 3 wild in deep, almost to the goal line. The Jackets able to emerge out of the zone, and Skilling finds better Putin, who rifles it in.
That was a heads-up play by Jack Skilling. The play was going away from Bobrovsky, and instead of looking for someone who was in the mess at the far blue line, he found a quiet area, found Tootin in that little support area, and Tootin made the play off ice.
David Savard on for Jared Bull. Bull dumps in, far side of the ice. Chaput hands it here to Adam Cracknell to the point. Jack Johnson on for Savard. Traffic in front of Kemper. Johnson gets it ahead. Toss back to Johnson by Cracknell. Redirected by Jared Bull.
That's his 3rd deflection in front of Kemper tonight. He's camping. He's holding up shop there. Doing a great job with those guys. This 4th line protecting the puck. Get into the defenseman. And one guy in front. Saw Chaput playing high. These guys look like they're sorting things out there on the 4th line.
10 minutes, 47 seconds remaining here in a scoreless first period. Again, we apologize for our technical issues. Making every effort to correct them as quickly as we possibly can. And thanks for hanging in there with us. Here, Calvert. Away from Parise. D to D. The Jackets move it up the left wing boards for Dubinsky. Dubinsky drop. Centers it there for Calvert. He couldn't get a stick on it. And Calvert now. Pressured there by Koivu. Crosser takes a hit but makes the play out of the zone. Parise had it knocked away. Dubinsky right back on it for the Jackets. Still looking for that elusive 100th goal is Dubinsky, who has certainly added a lot to the Jackets, but he'd like to find the back of the net. We've hit the midway point of a scoreless first period. Jackets control the puck in neutral ice. This is Hartnell. Backhands a pass for Johansson. Right back for Hartnell. Racing into the zone there is Lauren. Lauren tied up along the wall by Foley. Fished free. Hartnell to the point. On for Trout from Tootin. Wrists it wide of the net. 9 minutes and 32 seconds left. Jackets controlling the zone. And the Hartnell shot turned aside there by Kemper. Niederreiter not able to clear the zone. Niederreiter and Johansson, teammates with the Portland Winterhawks of the Western Hockey League. Both first-round picks. Niederreiter acquired by the Wild in a trade.
Welcome back to Nationwide Arena. 9:24 to go. First period scoreless game as you look at Ryan Johansson. Hey, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, read about Curtis McElhenney's improvement in the CBJ net. Ohio State prepares for its Sugar Bowl showdown with Alabama and a LeBron James retrospective. Complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports brought to you by 1-800-SAFEAUTO.com.
Face-off outside the zone. 9:24 left. Jackets with 5 of the 6 shots. No score. Again, we apologize for tonight's technical problems. We are endeavoring to make every effort to correct them. Those of you tuning in here tonight on Fox Sports Ohio. Foligno had it roll off his stick. Skilly dumping it back there for David Savard. Savard steps in front of his own net. Left wing feed off Coyle. Savard follows it up. Work play there by David Savard.
Yeah, he's been smart, boy. He's been steady all year long. He's played every game so far for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Just a workhorse behind there. Not only a strong play, but smart decisions, as you just saw following up that play. Those second effort plays that we talk about all the time.
Pominville with a shot that's deflected wide of the net. Calvert stripped to the puck. Recovers. Step now there. The defenseman for Minnesota, Folin, and the shot from the point stopped by Bobrovsky.
Now let's look at that last play by the Wild. And that's a defenseman coming down, and Pominville covers up, wastes no time getting the puck in. Bobrovsky. Sergei sees that through there, but you see that little switch. Forward defenseman goes down, takes the body, keeps the play alive, and the forward Pominville makes no mistake in getting that puck through on Bobrovsky.
Now Folin made the play, and then Pominville. There's a great illustration of what the Jackets are trying to accomplish. Pominville, as soon as that puck was on his stick, he fires that puck right at Bobrovsky, who was forced to make a pretty good save.
Now it looks like Jack Johnson's getting a penalty here for shooting the puck out of play. Delay a game from his defensive zone. Oh, it's Connauton, I'm sorry. Connauton's going to sit. He was on the left side of the ice. He flipped it out, and I guess it cleared the glass without touching anything. So this is the first penalty kill for the Columbus Blue Jackets. 0-0 here. 8:20 left in the first period.
26-30 on the power play. Are these Minnesota Wild 16 power play goals, 13.9%. Jackets on the penalty kill, as we mentioned from the outset of tonight's telecast, 18th, and they're back over 80%.
And one guy that has a big to-do about that is Brandon Dubinsky, who starts his penalty kill off. Another guy who has some big input, Jeff, you mentioned it earlier today, is Sergei Bobrovsky being extra sharp in his game. Really helps the penalty kill.
Tonight's power play presented by Toyota. That's Koivu, captain for the Wild. Almost to the goal line, fires it right on it, and off the goal stick there of Bobrovsky. One-timer, Bobrovsky moves laterally, makes the pad save, and Dubinsky sends it down. It's a cliche, but boy, is it true. Your best penalty killer has got to be your goaltender, and Bobrovsky is right there again.
Oh, that wasn't easy. That was a cross-zone pass. He's got to follow that puck across, and then when he finds it on the far side, it's Koivu with that world-class shot. But Bobrovsky, no problem with that one.
Jack Johnson now will lift it up and out. Kemper setting it up for Spurgeon. 40 seconds remain in the Connauton penalty. Marching out of the zone. Here come the Wild. Left wing feed for Niederreiter. Interesting Suter, who we have seen in the past play the entire 2 minutes, Jody, the power play. He has been struggling, as we mentioned. Not out there. Scandella is, and we talked about his offensive prowess of late. Coyle with it. Coyle centers. Jackets defend. Johansson with the active stick. And that's deflected out of play. There'll be no penalty there. But watch Bobrovsky here.
As you mentioned, the puck is on the right boards here. Watch this. Hash mark to the inside hash mark. And Sergei, watch Sergei on that play. You'll see him here. He gets over. He's not out high on his crease, but a low shot, kicks it away with his left pad. that flu. Doesn't look like there's any signs of that right now.
Not at all. 15 seconds remain in the Connaughton penalty. 6:34 in the scoreless first period as the Jackets win yet another face-off, and Tootin will play it deep in his own zone, lifting it up and out, sending it the length of the ice. Kemper out. 5 seconds remain in the Connaughton penalty. 6:22 in the period. Connaughton now standing at the penalty bench and walks out. Jackets have now killed off 24 in a row and 42 of the last 46.
And you talk about killing all those penalties. There's little details of a penalty kill. You talk about the goalie, okay, he's got to make those big saves. We just saw from Sergei. Face-off wins. We just saw Nick Foligno come out and win the face-off. Crucial face-off outside the zone there. It enables the Blue Jackets to get it all the way down the ice, eats up the rest of that kill so that the Wild or any opposition this month not able to set up. Those little details, Dubinsky, Johansson, it's a big deal for the penalty kill unit. And I know Brad Larson, not just working on the form, but those little details are huge.
Jackets have been outstanding in the face-off circle here in this opening period. They have been certainly the better of the two teams on the draws tonight. Adam Cracknell wins that board battle. Tried to set it towards the net. Graziak defending. Handing it there to Fulham. And it's back out to neutral ice. Connaughton stands up, the Wild forward on that far wall. Cook had it briefly. Shoveled ahead. And Jared Bull sends it into Minnesota territory. 5.5 minutes left. A scoreless first period. Shots are even at 5. Connaughton defending there against Matt Cook. Fontaine looking to make the play. Rayovac battles. This is his second NHL game. His first game Monday night in Winnipeg. Jersey number 53. The big boy, Rayovac.
Yeah, he looks like a big guy from up here. He's doing a good job with that puck, protecting it. He's just brought it from corner to corner. He's actually going to draw a penalty here.
Second power play upcoming. Here's Suter now. Stepping behind the net. Extra attacker out. Kemper on the bench. Sixth skater on. Jackets touch up. We'll step aside, but when we come back, the Wild back on the power play with James Wisniewski heading off. There's Brad Larson, who we have mic'd tonight. You see the microphone right there on the lapel. We'll have a feature on Larson coaching. And let's right now take a listen. Larson wired.
Gotta find that seam. Hey, weak side forward, find that seam. Don't get too low.
What? Find that seam, Jeff. That's the penalty kill, coach. He's in charge of that. I think he's talking about that, the weak side forward. I believe in the second intermission. These guys at the desk going to break that down.
Up high, there's a shot. Bobrovsky able to stop that with traffic in front. Second power play for the Wild. And the puck frozen along that far post by Bobrovsky after the initial scramble and play whistled down.
Looked like Sergei's head got clipped there. Gotta be careful there. Savard was trying to get back behind the net. You watch the puck come across here. The save comes through traffic. And Sergei sees the puck. He gets at it. Watch here. Looks like Sergei gets his arm up to protect himself. Savard is trying to get the player out of there. I saw last night. It was a Toronto game. The night before. The goalie got clipped again.
James Reimer.
Yeah, he's had a couple concussion problems. It's just the same thing, just that clip on the side, but it looks like Sergei protected himself there.
Short-handed. Matt Kelvin fires a shot that sails wide. 4 minutes, 32 seconds left. A minute and 37 seconds in the power play. No score. The Wild, for the first time tonight, have gone ahead with their back-to-back power plays on the shot clock at 7-5. Parise. Back at the point now. Suter. By Koivu through the crowd. How about that? Bobrovsky.
I saw that.
Outstanding stop with Parise camped in front of him.
I don't know how he saw that, Jeff. He just positionally sound. He stays there, confident in his position. Look at that. He actually got it in his glove. Watch this angle here. Look at this. Slow-mo. Look at this. Parise jumps. Sergei finds it in his glove. Must have just saw it at the last second, but that is great camera work right there. A little jousting match with Parise and Dubinsky immediately after that.
4 minutes, 10 seconds remain. 1:16 on the power play. And again, we apologize for all the technical issues here tonight. We are endeavoring to correct them. From the side of the net, the shot in the goal. It's a power play goal for the Wild. Parise finding the back of the net.
Now what a play. Let's take a look at this right from the face-off. Impressive skill here in the middle of the ice. Watch this. It's a loss. Jackets win it. A little play, two little plays on the wall. Negate the Blue Jackets from clearing. Now watch this play in the middle. That was Koivu in the middle to Parise. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. Watch this. Koivu taps it to Parise, who's got all the time in the world to get it from his skate to his stick. Makes no mistake. Beats Bobrovsky on that impressive play.
14th goal of the season, 5th power play goal, and that ends the Jackets' streak of 24 consecutive power play kills.
Well, they've done a heck of a job, but two quick ones like that against I mean, the Wild power play hasn't been dominant, but they have the clientele to do damage, as you saw right there.
Well, people, including management and coaching staff, the Wild expect their power play to be marked.
Everyone does, exactly. But, and like you say, you can't let them get out there and work on it, because that's really what they get to do is correct.
Oh, Bobrovsky with another stop.
You saw that rebound pop out in the middle. We don't see that very often from Sergei.
5 consecutive shots here for the Wild after the shots were each 5. Vanek draws the second assist. Koivu the primary assist is pointed out by Jody Shelley. And it's 1-0, the Wild lead. Up on that far wall. Puck gets away from Hartnell. He and Cook fence briefly. Graovac looking to walk out of the corner. Looked for the short side attempt, but Bobrovsky covers up.
Yeah, Bobrovsky wants to settle this play down. The Blue Jackets have a tough time managing the puck along the wall and trying to get out of their zone clean. That's one thing they've done all of December, really, is pass the puck, support each other. There you see a turnover off the wall, and some pretty great work by this Graovac, who's had some impressive offensive zone shifts, Jeff, using his big body to protect the puck.
Todd Richards said this morning both these teams, Jody, need a victory here tonight. And at this point, it appears as if the Wild are hungry of the two teams.
Yeah, they definitely came out. And you can see by some of these shots, they're wasting no time getting the puck on net.
12-5 the shots, 2:44 left. Scramble in front of the Jackets net. And it's moved out of the zone, much to the delight of the crowd here. Right wing, Skilly. Jack Skilly fires on. And the stop by Kemper, 2:36 left.
Before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live. You can find it right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live, brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
And, you know, you talk about being ready for the game. It's the Minnesota Wild. You haven't seen them a while. They're not a big division rival. This is not an excuse, but you got to get up for every single game. It's not the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Washington Capitals. You can't overlook a team, and I don't think the Blue Jackets are doing that. But you'd like to see more urgency to start this game.
Again, the Wild had lost 5 in a row before their win at Winnipeg. They were struggling. A lot of fingers being pointed, according to reports. Players trying to do too much on their own, but it was a gutty performance in Winnipeg. We watched the game on Monday night, and they have certainly carried the play here in this opening period tonight. Puck fired in. Bobrovsky is there, and he's going to hold on with Koivu Camp right there at the side of the Jackets net. Minute 58 left. 1-0 Wild. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller time later in tonight's contest. It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Interesting play there by Sergei. Looked like he had time and support to play the puck. He chose just to freeze it for a whistle. And that shows you how quick the Wild are coming down on him. He didn't like what he saw up ice.
Play in the neutral zone. Pominville turning away there from Corey Trout. A minute 42 left. Wild again on the march up ice. Suter sends it ahead. Koivu slaps it deep into Jackets territory. Dalton Trout looking there for Fedor-Tilton. Dubinsky drops it back. The crowd here getting on the Jackets here. Jackets a little discombobulated in their own zone.
Looks like a almost capacity night here for the fans. Could be a sellout. Pretty close. These fans want to get their team going as this period is coming to an end, almost in the last minute of the first period.
Minute 5 to be exact, thrown back out of the zone. Played by the Wild to neutral ice off the wall. Here's Moore. Scored his first goal as a Jacket against Boston. Less than a minute to go now. Hartnell will drop it back for Wisniewski. Wisniewski, Hartnell from a sharp angle. Off the shoulder of Kemper. Morin on the far side. Johansson lurking. There's Connaughton. That one a little difficult there. It's thrown into his skates. Wisniewski able to keep it in. Scandella can't clear. Morin handed the puck here on the turnover in the slot. Johansson, he'll let one fly, and it's off the shoulder of Kemper. 35 seconds remain. Morin on the far side.
Gotta love those two plays by Morin. And then that opportunity by Johansson. Nice save by Darcy Kemper on that, catching it up high.
Fontaine dumps in. 22 seconds remain. Wild on a power play. Goal by Parise. The only goal in this opening period. Shots are 12-8. Turned over. Carried into the zone. On the right wing. Nice move there by Foligno to poke it free. Skilly trying to get away there from Niederreiter. Final seconds tick off. Down to 5. Jackets. Savard. On for Jack Johnson. 1, and there's the horn to end the opening period of play. Shots 12-8 favoring Minnesota. They lead 1-0 on the goal by Parise on the power play. Sergei Bobrovsky stands tall. Outstanding first period. Jackets trail after 1. And we'll be back. Dave Best will have it when we return here on New Year's Eve night. Jeff Rubber, Tony Shelley rejoining you here. Second period set to begin. Teams have traded ends. Zach Parise with the lone goal on the power play in that opening period. In fact, 7 of the 12 shots generated by the Wild came from that line of Koivu and Pominville. And we want to thank those of you that hung in there with us. We have corrected our technical issues, and we are underway here in the second period. Jackets looking to come from behind in this one. As the Wild are first on the board. Parise from Koivu and Vanek at 15:58 on their second of 2 power plays. Dubinsky spins, turns, sends it wide of the net. Dalton Trout in off the point. Spurgeon defends. Jackets on it. Wraparound attempt there by Trop fails. Bouncing puck in front of that blue paint. And the zone is cleared by the Wild and back into Jackets territory.
Perfectly played down the ice by the Wild. Didn't cross the goal line for icing. Dalton Prout goes back and gets it, and that allows the Blue Jackets forwards and defense to change up.
Scandella on the right wing there for Niederreiter. Played by Bobrovsky, high off the glass and out of play. 1:02 into the second period. How about our IGS Energy performer, Jody?
Yeah, and it's a guy you spoke of coming into the start of this second period. There he is, Zach Parise. He's got the goal for the Minnesota Wild. Alternate captain, left winger, and I tell you what, power play goal camped at the side of the net. And you mentioned that line with Pominville and Koivu. They have been dynamic to this point of the game, and great opportunity for him. And he really is a leader up there, Jeff. He's got some fire in his step.
Race for the puck in the corner. Jackets out muscle. Folan, the defenseman, and Niederreiter looks cross ice there for Thomas Vanek. Coyle heads to the net. Puck sent wide off the backboard. The Jackets move up quickly. David Savard steps to center. Deals it on the right wing for Johansson, who won 4 of 5 faceoffs in that opening period. Johansson circles, tries to shoot it towards the net. Knocked off his stick by the Wild defender, and it's back inside Columbus territory. Hartnell, an Oleg pass there, just missing Johansson, who had stopped and played by the Wild. Folan on for Scandella. Scandella head up, looks, finds Cook. Matt Cook trying to feed it ahead there for Grailman. Jackets take it away, and that's Jack Johnson. Johnson with a backhand pass up the left wing. Hartnell, pass behind him, can't make the play. Along the wall for Hartnell. Taken back by Grailvac, who's hit at the line by Jack Jackson. Fontaine tries to spin down that right wing and away from the Jackets defender.
Minnesota's doing a good job of winning battles, stick battles in the neutral zone, all those crucial areas. They seem to be heavier on the puck than the Columbus Blue Jackets are right now.
Fontaine fires, gloved and held by Bobrovsky.
Watch his play here. Ryan Johansson, okay, he had scored in December. The team has had success. Watch this play. He's back checking right now. He'll come into your screen right. Number 19 breaks up that pass towards the net. Just a great effort by him and unbelievable awareness. And to stay with that play all the way back, his players and his coach, all the coaches, noticed that play. And that's something that they're very, very excited about, to have Ryan Johansson, offensive threat, and all the offensive skill, puck skill in the world. But to make those defensive plays, huge part of his game right now is playing those defensive back check plays.
Well, they want him to play a 200-foot game, and certainly Johansson doing that right now. So you talked about it the other night. Maybe not putting pucks into the net, but he is contributing in so many other ways.
That's the word I was looking for. Couldn't find it. Contributing. Thank you, Jeff.
Rodziak on the left wing. Pad save there. Up high.
Just going to get the dictionary out here.
Bickle sweeps it below the Jackets' goal line. Come up with it. That's Wisniewski. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Connaughton moves off ice. Dumps it deep into Minnesota territory. Stand up. Gives it here to Bickle. Puck gets away from Pominville, and it's icing against Minnesota.
After every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players. We talk to the coaches as well on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy, take control of your natural gas costs. Enroll at IGSenergy.com.
Well, a big day for this young man. Game number 500 of his NHL career. And to celebrate the milestone, he signed a new 6-year contract. An unrestricted free agent. The Jackets have come to terms with Foligno, and all sides are happy, Jody.
Yeah, that's tremendous news for this fan base and Nick Foligno and his family. We know they're happy here. His wife Janelle, they're excited with the area, and you know they've really big part of that group down there. Nick Foligno.
Not unlike Dubinsky, make a commitment here to the Jackets. Both had an opportunity for unrestricted free agency. Both wanted to remain Blue Jackets. Passing puck in the corner. Dalton Prout sends it off the wall. Dubinsky finds Calvert. Calvert now 1-on-2. Speeds down the wing. Spurgeon chases. Folan is there defending. Foligno along the wall. Nick Foligno looks to the points. David Savard moving in. A wrist shot high and wide. 4.5 minutes into the second period. Jackets finish a check along the wall. Hartman. Bouncing puck played by Johansson. Hartman. Morin handing the puck to Johansson, who spins and turns. Drops it back to the point for Savard. Kemper out of the net, out of the blue paint, able to make the stop as Folan tied up Hartnell, and Hartnell not happy at all.
Now he got dumped in front of the net, couldn't get in that position. Folan got away with that.
Thomas Bennett to the point for Suter. Save made by Bobrovsky. And now Jack Johnson heading north. Spins through the neutral zone. Crosses the line. Offside the call. Morin expecting the pass. And Jody, here's what you were talking about.
Well, we saw Scott Hartnell score a goal from this position in front of that. Here he comes in, back to the net. Folan just gets the stick up and dumps him. Maybe he saw Scott score from their last game too, and he wasn't going to let him post up. That's the price you pay for going in those areas. That's why they call it the hard area. Cross-check in the back doesn't feel good, and then it's to have to get up and watch the play leave the zone.
As you were describing that, Hartnell went over the bench, and he kept looking at the officials and the Wild on that blue line. A little upset, and rightfully so. Prosser with a shot that sails wide. Stepping up Skilling. Chips it by Suter, and it's played by Prosser. Suter for Prosser. 5 minutes plus gone here in the second period. Outlet pass. Backhanded by Grailrat. Deep into Jackets territory. And again, we have an icing call.
Well, that was a backhand pass up the middle. I mean, James Wisniewski's smart play there. Turned away from the puck. Knew icing was going to call. And just played that really well. As the Jackets now have that offensive zone face-off to the right of Kemper. Chaput to take the draw here. This fourth line, I like their energy in the first period, Jeff. Some good opportunities by Jared Boll in front of the net, tipping the puck. Michael Chaput with some opportunities. Maybe they can get a couple more goals here tonight.
Fontaine avoids a hit there from Chaput. How about Adam Crackman? Healthy scratch for a number of games. He gets back in the lineup and does all he can to contribute.
Yeah, and he just, he's patiently been waiting, and that's what you do when you're out of the lineup. He's been nothing but a pro. He brings a good attitude to that locker room. And when you get your opportunity like tonight, and now he's on the ice, you give it everything you got. He understands the system. And you see him in the defensive zone with his line mates.
Naughton turning it over. Pominville centers, unable to make the play, and the Jackets will clear off the wall. That's Wisniewski who sends it deep. No icing here, played by Bickle. Jackets change up here as we approach the 7-minute mark. 1-0 if you joined us on a goal by Parise with a power play tally of 15:58. Period number 1. Foligno. Across the line, puck knocked away. Bradziak. Wild moving to the offensive zone. Scannella reaching for it, can't make the play. Sutter called up along with Rayovac, but with all the sickness and injury suffered by the Wild. Both were impressive in their season debuts.
We've seen Grajovic, he protect that puck really well.
Thanks to everyone who's been a part of the Blue Jackets Fan Express program this year. Tonight, members of the Columbus Ice Youth Hockey Team rode the Fan Express to Nationwide Arena to root on the Blue Jackets to victory on New Year's Eve.
Coyle will take the faceoff. He's out there with Niederreiter and Vanek. For the Jackets, it's Dubinsky. Puck is dropped. Coyle wins that faceoff. Suter steps up. Below the goal line, throws it in front. Chopping at it there was Bobrovsky, who's trying to clear the front of the net. Up high, Suter. Dumped to the open corner. Better Tootin can't get to it. Niederreiter had to roll off his stick. Jackets walked out of the zone.
Good job by the defenseman in front of Sergei Bobrovsky. That's Tootin and Prout doing just a tremendous job boxing out, using their big bodies to keep the Wild from getting to the net. But earlier, the Wild did a good job getting to the front of that. Watch this. Tootin tried to hold up Coyle in front. You got a guy in the back door. That's Vanek. Tootin does good job positioning, but great support there. The puck didn't get to the net, but you saw how Tootin was watching the puck and keeping the stick on the back of Vanek just to make sure he knew that Tootin was there and was going to contest anything that was about to happen.
Johansson chased from the circle, so Morin will step in. Out there with Johansson and Hartnell. Hartnell turns Spurgeon around. Morin attempted to play, and it's chopped away. The Jackets getting a little frustrated here right now, Jody.
Yeah, you can see that. You saw with Hartnell after he got dumped there in front of the net on the offensive zone last shift.
Morin just moments ago got a little frustrated with the play of the Wild.
They seem to be outnumbering the Blue Jackets in those battles. Blue Jackets not playing their game right now. They're kind of playing the Wild's game and let them have their way with what they're trying to do. Columbus needs to settle it down, support each other, start in front of Sergei, work from him out. That was the key to tonight's game. Work from the goaltender out, get out through the zone, and just, good passes, get the puck on Kemper, and just a rebound.
Jack Johnson advances that puck. Hartnell redirects it deep into the zone. Kemper out to play. Jackets will change up here on the fly. Approaching the 9-minute mark. Fuller gets it hit here to Cook. Fontaine with a shot that goes off Cook and wide. Corey Trout getting a chance to move up. Slips and falls. Rayovac drops it back into his own zone. This is Bickle now. Up the right wing lane. Fontaine can't get anywhere. Connaughton stepped up on him. Alexander Wenberg. Gets it back from Connaughton. Jackets chop it in. Trout first on the forecheck.
We'll see Trout getting moved around. He's out there now with Wenberg and Skilly. He started the night with Dubinsky and Calvert. It seems like Foligno might be out there now with Dubinsky and Calvert. We'll keep an eye on that.
10:25 left. 1-0. The Wild lead.
And Happy New Year from Nationwide Arena, where the Jackets trail the Wild 1-0. Hey, it's a New Year's Eve edition of Fox Sports Live. TCU tries to prove it belonged in the playoff against one of college football's best defenses. Questions swirl around the Cleveland Cavaliers as they look to avoid their third straight loss. And you can't miss our incredible look back at 2014 through the eyes of a fan. It's Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1.
And Happy New Year to all of you tuning in here tonight on New Year's Eve. Fox Sports Ohio. Jackets bring the curtain down in 2014. And we'll start 2015 on the road, departing tomorrow for Phoenix and the start of a 4-game road trip. The news out of Phoenix today, Jody. The Coyotes have been sold. New ownership taking effect. Board of Governors approving the sale, making it official late this afternoon.
That's interesting. I thought they were already sold, but this is just another step in that process, is it?
New ownership and majority ownership.
So they agreed to it in the summer, was it?
Yes, but they had to be approved by the league, and that came earlier today. The Board of Governors, once all was in order, that franchise will remain in Phoenix under solid ownership.
That's good news.
Great for the league. 9.5 minutes left. The Jackets will take on the Coyotes. And it'll be interesting to see now if Antoine Vermette, the former Blue Jacket, who's an unrestricted free agent, has been the subject of continuous trade rumors. Now with new ownership, does he remain and get a new deal?
No, that's interesting as a player. You know, when change happens, I guess in any business, new GM, new ownership, new boss, what does he think of you? Where do you fit in the future? So it'd be interesting. He's done well since he left here and went out to Phoenix.
Certainly, according to the rumors, sought after by a number of teams, and the thought was perhaps he would be traded, but that could very well change now. With new majority ownership in Phoenix. Far side of the ice, Koivu. Could be a popular player, a member of the Blue Jackets, and similarly out there in Phoenix. Turned aside. Was stopped by Bobrovsky. Parise, the goal scorer. Fought off there by Calvert. The puck sails into Minnesota territory. Turned over by Scandella, Dubinsky, and Calvert can't get a stick on it in front.
Good read by Dubinsky. Uses his speed there. Picks up the puck off the wall. Head up. Good shot on Kemper.
Calvert keeps the feet moving. Hands it here to Foligno, who's moved up. Jack Johnson. Savard. That one knocked down, and the zone clear. Foligno hustles back for it. Foligno dancing away from Koivu. On the wing, Foligno, 17 goals on the year, and look for 18 right there to match the total of last season. Great effort individually. Now Jack Johnson, go about pass, the puck in the blue paint, down is Kemper. It's behind the net, ringed around the wall, and the Wild have cleared.
Well, how about this line that Todd Richards has put together? He's put Foligno out there now with Calvert and Dubinsky, and boy, they're electric right off the start.
First time tonight, the crowd getting in this hockey game, and with good reason. The Jackets storming around the Wild net.
And you talk about momentum and the Jackets on their heel. What's going to change? What's going to bring them to life? How about Nick Foligno getting the puck on net and then creating this just pandemonium? Calvert gets a whack at it. Dubinsky gets a whack at it. Great way to end the period here.
Well, we have Brad Larson, Jackets assistant coach, Mike tonight, and here's a sample.
Good read by Prouder. Good read, good reload. Good read, good reload. One guy out, two guys out. That's it. Use your body, use your body.
I love it. That's riveting stuff. Makes he's communicating. It's hockey talk. And the second period, intermission, Jeff, believe me, the guys will explain what he's saying.
I look forward to it. Connaughton. Back in his own zone. Pressure coming. Gets it ahead to Johansson. Back for Connaughton. Standing up there at the line, there is Vanek. Hartnell had it briefly controlled DVD by the Wild, bumped into the zone, but Connaughton will try to move it up and does. With a pass here for Hartnell at the line. Drops the feed for Johansson. Johansson trying to fight off the check there in the corner. Some help from Morin. Morin flips it behind the net. Hartnell to the point. Tootin coming off the bench, unable to get there. The Jackets in neutral before Connaughton hammers it back in.
Yeah, the defense for the Blue Jackets saw an opportunity to get off the ice when the puck was low and far away from the bench. As they did that, Hartnell was relying on them as the puck goes from side to side behind the net to get it back up to the high point slot and get some pressure off that corner battle. But as he did that, the guys were changing, so didn't work out. Face off at center ice.
From the drop. Fuller. Rayovac along the boards. Trop unable to get to it. Tootin handing it there to Dalton Prout. Prout, right wing feed. Backhanded ahead. Trop unable to get a stick on it. Stepping up and hammering it in once more is Fuller. 6:45 left. Scandella chops it off into the corner. Rayovac tied up there by Dalton Prout. Rayovac lost his stick and heads off. Dalton Prout off the wall. Corey Trop can't find a handle. Prout.
That was a good play by Prout. He chipped it off the wall, then he didn't just stand back and see what was going to happen. He followed the play up, make sure the puck got out. Not allowed him to buy a little time as the Wild had to regroup.
Sutter on the forecheck. Trop backhands it to center. Bouncing puck, Skilly. Sutter to the offensive blue line. Backhanded there. Bobrovsky's going to wisely hold on with Carter darting to the net. 5:55 left. Wild lead. One goal in this one. That's by Parise. Close to capacity crowd on hand for this one. Wild lead at 1-0 in the second period. Happy New Year. And speaking of the new year, the Jackets will head out tomorrow and begin 2015 on the road against the Coyotes in Phoenix. Our coverage Saturday begins at 7:30 with Blue Jackets Live. The opening face-off at 8 o'clock. Face-off to the left of Bobrovsky. And the draw won by Palmenville. Spurgeon up high, sends one through. It's wide of the net. Now Foligno off the wall. Great shift by this trio of Calvert and Foligno put together earlier on in the second period. Jody, you were commenting on how they dominated play.
Yeah, they waste no time here. Defensive zone face-off to get it down in the offensive zone right away. And here they get to set up.
Savard, wrist shot wide. Dubinsky reaching for it. Cannot get a stick on it. Now in pursuit. Suter. Good hustle there by Foligno. Puck comes free to Calvert. Dubinsky walking out. Had it chopped away by Spurgeon. Kept in by Savard. And he sends a wrist shot wide. Off the skate. Jackets just missing. Kemper was out of position. Foligno knocked down. The Jackets will finally get a power play here as Foligno was tripped up, and a tripping call against the Wild will give the Jackets the #2 power play in the NHL, their first manpower advantage.
And that's
Minnesota. 2 minutes. Tripping.
Ryan Suter. And it's a play on the backside of that. Watch Foligno. He goes to get the puck. Suter's stick gets caught up in his feet. Great shift by this line. Energy, speed, quickness. Offensive zone time. Didn't get a goal, but how about drawing a penalty? Like the way they set the tone. This line has really grabbed a hold of this play in the second half of this game.
Power play goals in 7 of the last 9 games. 9 for 29. They climbed to #2 in the league at 24%. 6th on the penalty kill are the Wild at 85.4%. Suter off for tripping. And from the draw, the Wild attempt to clear, but don't. Jackets able to keep it in. Jack Johnson. Oh, the stick broke as he tried to send one from the top of the circle towards Kemper and the Minnesota net.
Oh, he leaned on that stick. He wanted that one. How about Wenberg getting an opportunity on the power play with Johansson and Hartnell?
Here's Wenberg. On for Hartnell. Cross ice, Johansson. Ryan Johansson. Leading the Jackets in assist and power play assist, and that one goes off the side of the face of Wisniewski.
Looks like he's checking his ear. Went off his ear into the bench. He'll stay. Jack Johnson, watch it lean on that stick. Look at that thing. Sometimes you'll just see it bend. But that couldn't take all that power from Jack Johnson.
How about that phantom cam shot? Whoa, a beauty.
Yeah, that was nice work.
4:32 left, a minute 27. The Jackets power play, and after the initial start to the power play, the Jackets get the Dubinsky line on with Foligno and Matt Calvert. Jack Johnson and Wisniewski remain on the points. Johnson climbing up in power play points. He's got 13 now, a goal and 12 assists. Foligno trying to walk off the wall. Defending is Carter. Line, but not a Wisniewski. Pressure there by Carter, and Carter fires it up onto the Jackets bench, and that head's ducking.
You talk about Jack Johnson. He's made some terrific plays, and we've seen him score a couple goals. But I'll tell you what, even in this game, heads-up passing plays with the puck. He's a good skater. He logs a lot of minutes. He does some great defensive things. But heads-up offensive zone play, subtle plays that we saw a couple that didn't connect, but a couple did. And there's been some nice scoring opportunities off Jack Johnson's setup.
8 points in his last 9 games for Jack Johnson. 2 of them are goals. Riding a point-scoring streak presently. Dubinsky, cross ice. Foligno will play it off the wall. Foligno drops it back for Connauton. On for Savard. 7 points the last 8 games. 4 goals for Connauton. Here's Foligno up high. Dishes for Dubinsky, looking for that elusive 100th goal. Dubinsky drops it back for Connauton. A quick wrist shot. Does not get through. Graziak able to block it, and then all in one motion. Backhands it down the ice. 24 seconds left in the Suter penalty.
Connauton changed his angle there. Got his feet moving with his head up. Brought it all lane. But that got blocked by Graziak.
There's Savard in the corner for Connauton, who's pinching in. Connauton trying to send it back to Savard. Wenberg up high. Able to sweep it away from the Wild. Final seconds down to 3. Hartnell ahead here. Johansson. Jackets change up. Cook is at full strength. That good found to Carter, and it's set wide of the net. Played along the right wing. There's Suter. On for Cook. Off a skate. Crowd getting a little anxious here. They're starting to get on the Jackets here on not being able to convert on that power play.
And after that power play, just as it ended, watch this wide shot here. Look on the left. You see a change happening right here. The puck now comes out towards Toot. See, it's in front of him. He can't play it because he just came on the ice. Hartnell's waiting for him to play it. And that creates a 3-on-2 back the other way. Luckily, there was no opportunity. Todd Richards is asking about possible too many men by the Wild. They almost got caught there, Jeff, playing the puck by the bench. He wanted a brief an explanation. He got a brief one from the referee.
Dan O'Halloran, the veteran referee, working this one, went over and had a brief conversation.
Yeah, he's a man of few words, Dan O'Halloran. Trust me.
Oh, I was just going to say, you must know, spoken,
He's
from
very
experience.
Very to the point.
Morin slips and falls.
Which you got to love, by the way, by those older refs, those old school guys.
Hartnell headbands that puck. Here's Morin. Right-handed shot in the left wing. Fires. And there's Kemper to make the stop.
Great play by Morin there. He uses the defenseman as a screen, and it almost looks like he's going to pass. He's looking away. Watch his camera work here, too. He's got his head up coming in. He's assessing the situation. Watch him. He's looking away. He knows what he wants to do. And just at the last second, he looks at that hole, and he finds it between the legs. Great shot, and beautiful camera work there by our guys to catch that in that slow motion.
David Savard. Skilly off the wall. Corey Trapp. Spurgeon defending. Trapp trying to fish that puck free. Gets some help now. Good work there by Wenberg. Skilly knocked down. Wild look to the left wing for Coyle, but the Jackets break that up. David Savard paired with Jack Johnson. Looks to the right wing board. Skilly. Suter defending. Trapp comes in. Played by the Wild off the wall there. Vanek. Cook able to send it into Jackets territory, and is played here by Connauton.
I was just watching Matt Cook there and Jack Johnson. Matt Cook got a little extra attention from Jack Johnson as he pushed the puck around him.
Connauton into the slot. Foligno! Out comes Kemper. Boy, he read that play well. The Minnesota netminder coming out and not giving the Jackets much to shoot at as the Jackets look to get in on that wild net.
Yeah, it looked like there was going to be an opportunity there. But watch Kemper come out and really close things down. Takes away all the room. This puck is going to come right through, almost through the blue paint. Dubinsky just takes a whack at it, and as it's moving across, Kemper not only goes across, but comes out. And that makes it really hard for Dubinsky to get anything around him.
Much of these last 10 minutes of the second period have been played here in the Minnesota end. The last shot for the Wild at the 10:57 mark of the second period. And we have just a little over a minute left. Foligno will let it go to the point. Wisniewski sends it in front. Less than a minute to go. Jackets on the prowl looking for the tying goal. Foligno. Here comes Wisniewski. He'll throw it in front. Calvert denied. Kemper the stop and the away. Jackets score from the boards. Connaughton. And boy, is Connaughton on a roll right now.
Well, now it's a celebration in Nationwide Arena. And watch Wisniewski, great idea, gets the puck to the net. Foligno, great patience here. Look at this guy, strong stick. Another opportunity by Wisniewski. Watch his puck trickles out. And what does Kevin Connaughton do here? The back of his stick was on the wall, and he got that on net. Great job, great idea by Kevin Connaughton. That puck might have had eyes, Jeff.
His 5th goal of the season. His 8th point in the last 9 games. Connaughton is in the zone. And you think in terms of all the Jackets' chances around Kemper, and it's an innocent play from the left wing boards that finds its way behind Kemper, and I believe it was deflected in off a member of the Wild defense.
And that's a shot that you don't practice. You don't practice shooting the puck from that angle, picking it up like that.
Penalty upcoming to the Jackets here.
But I love that mindset. He knew there was chaos in front of the net. He knew that there was guys out of position. Kevin Connaughton just threw it in there and got rewarded.
Columbus number 47, 2 minutes. Hook.
Dalton Prout gets the gate. The call is hooking. And again, having a chance to talk to Connaughton this morning, talking in terms, Jody, of getting the opportunity here, which evidently he did not get. Healthy scratch in Dallas, comes over on waivers. Jackets felt there was a tremendous upside in this young man. And what does he do? He gains confidence by the confidence the coaching staff put in him and giving him his ice time.
I tell you what, he's got good size. You see his shot. Talk about confidence. Confidence to be up in the play. That's a puck that's could be a 50-50. And if you're tentative at all, you're not jumping up in that position. That's almost at the hash marks in the offensive zone. You're playing safe. You're playing back. You're waiting for the play to come to you. He's not doing that at all.
As he said, opportunity came first. And with opportunity knocking, the confidence is there. And he's got the Jackets even after 1. Or 2, excuse me. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Huntington Bank. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at bluejacketsbanking.com. And by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. The goal scorers, Parise and Connaughton, tied 1-1 as we get set for third period play. Dubinsky and Koivu set for this faceoff. The puck is dropped. Dubinsky wins the draw. Savard stick tied up. Vanek moves it ahead, but the Jackets are quick to clear. Stepping up there is Suter. He'll toss it across ice. Suter gets it back. Retreats behind Kemper. And now, heads up. Dishes it on that right wing. Pominville chips ahead. Savard first below that goal line.
You see Savard there. He looked up. Thought about moving the puck. Instead, he just put it in his feet and waited for support from his teammates.
Pominville to the point for Suter. Cross ice. Dished by Pominville. Scandella, Vanek, Parise, Scandella, cross ice. Oh, good active stick there. Savard read the play perfectly. Knocking down the Minnesota forward, and the Jackets clear.
Another good play by David Savard, anticipating that pass across the ice initially, and then a pass up the wall. He picks it off, clears it, and that's a minute into the period. He gets off the ice.
50 seconds left in the power play. Across the line, Fontaine knocked away there by Foligno. Fetter 2 brings it around the board. Stepping up is Scandella. With those 9 goals in the season, 4-game winners given an opportunity here on the power play. He can rifle the puck. Coyle camped in front of Bobrovsky, tries to see it through the screen. Less than 30 seconds left. Wenberg attempting to clear. Can't. Tooten pressured along the wall there by Niederreiter. Matt Calvert sends it off the skate of Fontaine. Niederreiter trying to protect that puck. Fontaine deals to the point for Scandella. Waiting here is Spurgeon. It's dealt to the top of the circle on the right side in front. Niederreiter. And he is denied as Bobrovsky's down to the blue paint and covers up. 11 seconds remain in that Prout penalty.
You saw Niederreiter there trying to overpower Bobrovsky. Battle on the wall. It's Fetter Tooten. And it looked like Wenberg had it on his stick, but it went off the player of the Wild. That's Parise. And then watch this battle in front. That was Fontaine on the wall. And at the end of that, Niederreiter tried to overpower Bobrovsky and push him in the net, but the whistle blew him before that.
Prout standing at the penalty bench and steps out. Jackets kill it off. Much to the delight of the crowd. Now the Jackets, Jody, have to feed off that kill.
Yeah, they do, definitely. You know, coming into this period, they would have been in the locker room talking about getting that first 2 minutes, getting the penalty kill, and then go to work 5-on-5. Try to dictate the pace out here now, but they had momentum at the end of that second period.
One shot on the just completed power play for Minnesota. Morin along the far boards, reaching for it there. Johansson played at the line. Jack Johnson defending in front of the Columbus bench, trying to kick it back and away from Sutter. Moving up is Morin. He's got Hartnell on the right wing, who leads the Jackets with 6 hits in this hockey game. Hartnell dishes to the point, nobody there, and the Jackets have got to retreat.
That's the second time we've seen that. It was a change. And Hartnell just tried to no look it back, just a blind pass. But Wisniewski and Connaughton had not gotten to the blue line yet, so all the way down the ice.
Wisniewski hammers it off the wall. Wenberg coming back into his own zone. Right side there for Corey Trout. Wild dump it to the Jackets line. James Wisniewski. Pressure there by Cook. Fights it off. Hands to Connaughton. Back for Wisniewski. Wisniewski to Jack Skilly on the right wing. Rink wide. Connaughton stepping up. Stepping away from Pominville. Across the line. A shot towards the net. Steered aside there by Kemper. Right back to Connaughton. You could just see the confidence in Connaughton.
I'll tell you what, yeah, you carry the puck up to that play, make that little curl and drag, and then release the puck. They have a little bit of confidence.
Far side, Connaughton. Off the boards. Dubinsky waits at the line. Brandon Dubinsky. He's got a little extra jump there. Said he's been sore, but continues. In your yard maintenance day, including one here this week, he's starting to get those legs back in a big way.
Well, he's excited to be back. He will feel better every game. Nice break this week, too, Jeff. I'm sure that has a lot to do with him feeling a little better and a little jump in his step.
He's just drawn a penalty here. Delayed call. Bobrovsky off. 6 skaters on for the Jackets. They're going back to the power play. Meantime, a shot from the wing fought out there by Kemper. Jackets continue to battle below the goal line. Touched up there by Spurgeon. And for the second time tonight, the Jackets will go to the power play.
And it's Ryan Suter again.
Number 20, Minnesota. 2 minutes. Holding.
This time it's holding. Was tripping earlier. The Jackets had 1 power play earlier, as you mentioned. Not much production. Minnesota had 2 back-to-back in the first period. That's where that 1 goal came from. That killed the penalty kill streak for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Dubinsky hauled down there, as you just saw, by Suter, and now the AEP power play for the Blue Jackets. You looked at the summary, the Jackets 7 power play goals in the last 9 games.
And how did Dubinsky draw that penalty? Speed. He won the race to the puck on Suter and then spun out of there quick. Suter hauled him down.
4.5 minutes gone. Here in the third period. Jackets drop it back here for Foligno. 500th National Hockey League game for the Jackets winger. Earlier tonight it was announced he signed a new 6-year contract. Will remain a Blue Jacket. Foligno tried to throw it in front. Goes off the leg of the defender. Now Johansson to the point. Prosser steps up on Johansson. Off a skate and Brodziak will clear.
What a play by Jack Johnson just before the clear. He kind of fumbled the puck and was fading away from it, but got his stick back on it, kept it in play and in the offensive zone. Otherwise, either round was going to break.
Jackets down to a minute left of the power play. Dubinsky, who drew the penalty, back on the ice for the Jackets. Crowd a little anxious here. They're a little tough tonight. They want to see some action.
They want to celebrate some goals.
They want to see the Jackets on this power play. Much discussed here in the pregame and the like. Moving up to number 2. There's Matt Calvert. Wenberg up on that far side. Savard. Calvert, Kemp on the edge of the paint in front of Kemper. Here's Connaughton. Connaughton with a wrist shot. That's blocked. Bouncing puck off the glass. Jackets down to 20 seconds of the power play. Connaughton, one-timer score! Power play goal! David Savard! That's got them out of their chairs.
Let's take a look at it here. Kevin Connaughton, who just took a shot before this, gets the puck in the middle, changing the angle here, and decides to set up David Savard, who makes no mistake with this puck. Short side, top shelf, over the blocker of Darcy Kemper. And there's a celebration that the fans wanted.
So, Savard with his 6th, half of them on the power play. And the Jackets have their first lead of the night. How big was that Connaughton goal? Now. Morin. Down the right wing to center. Chips it by Scandella. Hustles after it. Scandella gets a stick around him. Jackets play it up high. Chapeau with a shot. And it's blocked there by Kemper. Prosser. On there for Koivu. Off the wall. And played by Dalton Prout.
You just saw that shot from Michael Chapeau. Tough angle. It's interesting. Morin in the 3 periods was interviewed on the radio, and he said, you know, we took note of that goal that went in by Connaughton. Tough angle shot. You saw Michael Chapeau there shooting from the tough angle. Guys notice what's going on out there and how players are getting rewarded. So you'll see a lot of different things from different lines as momentum builds here for the Blue Jackets.
Connaughton and Dubinsky draw the assist on the power play goal. The Jackets have come to life here. All around the Minnesota net.
No hesitation on that shot, too, by David Savard.
Well, we've been talking about it for a couple of games at the other end. Bobrovsky forced to make a stop. Retrieves his stick, a loose, broken stick in the blue paint. He sweeps that away as Hartnell moves in. On to Johansson, a shot. Fought off there. We're going end to end here now. This game's opening up.
That was quite a shot by Ryan Johansson at the end of his shift. High shot, got Kemper up high. A quick release. It fooled him. He didn't pick it up till the last second.
Jackets, speaking of shots, are back on top on the shot clock. Wild. Look to the left wing boards for Cook. Scandella hustling into the zone. Jared Bull finishing the shift. Connaughton. Turned over in the slot. Kick save and a beauty. Rebound, and Bobrovsky gets a piece of that. Oh boy. A terrible giveaway by the Jackets sets up an opportunity, but Bobrovsky stands tall. Sergei Van Bobrovsky. And the Blue Jackets lead the go-ahead goal by Savard on the power play.
New Year's Eve at Nationwide Arena. 2-1 Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's take a look at the penalty kill, which has been so successful for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We've got 4 of the penalty killers highlighted here. Play is on the wall, and the Blue Jackets moving as a pretty good unit. Call that a box. You can see why. The 4 corners are painted there. Keep that guy on the outside. Watch the Wild here. They'll go through the seam on a pass here, right through the box. You don't want that to happen, but when it does, you really rely on your goaltender. And right there, Sergei Bobrovsky, big save on that cross box pass. And that's a big part of that penalty goal. But good example there.
Another penalty upcoming here to the Jackets.
Columbus, 2 minutes, interference.
Tootin for interference. Penalty coming at 8:15. Minnesota 1 for 3 with 7 shots as you get a close-up look at Tootin. Living the next 2 minutes out. On the draw. Backhanded to Johansson. Can't clear. Koivu on it. Dances away. Looks to the trailer. The shot by Sutter. Rebound. Koivu on the short side. Bobrovsky stops that. Johansson lifts it to the line, but not out. Kept in there by Pominville. Jackets will try to chop it out this time. Who else? David Savard. With the go-ahead goal.
Yeah, that first attempt, Jeff, sorry, was Johansson trying to get it out. Beautiful play by Pominville to keep it in, but how about David Savard to bail out Johansson?
Our side of the ice, the captain, Koivu. Parise below that goal line. Walking out. Vanek poised and ready, top of the circle. Koivu now moves to that half board. Pominville, top of the circle here on the left side. Right-handed shot. Jackets battle and are able to clear. Nick Foligno sends it down the ice.
Nick Foligno hustles to get over there, uses his body to get positioning, and make sure he's got that space to get his stick down on the ice, and then clear it all the way down.
The crowd has come to life here. Electric. Right now, the operative word in Nationwide. Jackets going ahead at 5:51 on the power play. And now, look to kill off the final 44 seconds of the Tootin penalty. Bobrovsky very aggressive, hammered out by Wisniewski. Gets away from Scandella. And it goes off the wall and all the way back into Minnesota territory. Final 30 seconds of the Tootin penalty. Down the right wing comes Scandella. Wisniewski stands him off into the corner. Picked up by Matt Calvert. Backhands ahead on to Foligno. Nick Foligno down the right wing. Moving into the zone. Hangs on to that puck. Killing the valuable time. It's down to 10. Tootin. About to step out of the box. 3, 2, and 1. The Jackets kill it off. Much to the delight of the crowd.
Boy, you can feel the energy, not just from the goals, but how about the appreciation on killing that penalty. This Blue Jacket fan base loves it.
Off the bench, Johansson, who backhands it wide. Throws it back. Jack Johnson had to roll off his stick. Hartnell off the bench. Rebound as Kemper makes the initial stop. It's played by Brodziak.
How about Hartnell with the communication? Told Jack Johnson, I got it. Jack Johnson backed off that bouncing puck. Gave Hartnell the lane to step in. As that puck was rolling, he got good, used to call it wood, but I guess good stick on it.
The fans chanting CBJ.
Yeah, this crowd is now excited. They were upset there at a point as we look at Hartnell with the rolling puck. He's coming off the bench hot. And he calls off Jack Johnson. You saw Jack Johnson step aside on that replay.
9:15 left, third period.
Surprised Jack Johnson heard him with all the noise from the crowd.
Oh. Wild has jumped back on top with that recent power play. With 3 shots and lead on the shot clock. 24-22, but where it counts, on the scoreboard. Connaughton with a goal and an assist tonight. His first 3-point game was against Boston Saturday. He's got 5 points in the last 2 games.
And he's a young kid with a lot of upside, Jeff, and you're seeing some great things out of him right now, but boy, I think his future is bright.
Jackets scouts, the organization crediting the Jackets pro scouts. They saw an upside in this young man, and he certainly is displaying that here right now.
He's only 24 years of age.
Oh, look at Bobrovsky right there, and gets bumped there that the Jackets take exception to. And the first bit of pushback as Bobrovsky comes all the way to the Jackets bench. As they sort this one out, we will step aside. Less than 8.5 minutes left. 8:27 to be exact. 2-1 Jackets. 2-1. Blue Jackets lead as you get a look there at Kevin Connauton, who is the subject of tonight's Big Lots Big Play.
Gets an unassisted goal in the first Jackets goal. The second period, watch him waste no time. Saw that there was a scramble in front, fires it towards the net. Boy, that guy's on fire. One assist tonight too.
5 points in the last 2 games. Jody, talk about goals in last minutes of periods, because it certainly has ignited the Jackets, who have had the territorial edge through much of this third period.
Yeah, and it's been, I thought the Wild, we commented on it early, had a lot of zone time. Spent a lot of time in the Blue Jackets zone. But the second half of the game, when Dubinsky and Foligno got paired up with Calvert, it was Calvert, Dubinsky were together, Foligno got with them. It seemed like it really ignited that line, and they really generated a lot of energy in the building.
Wenberg drops it back. Tooten lets one fly. Kemper the save. Flashed the leather, but unable to control that puck. Less than 8 minutes left. Dalton Prout to Skilly. He'll just backhand it in and race off to the bench. Kemper crosses to the far side. D-to-D. Suter looks to the right wing. Active stick there by Foligno, who read the play. Calvert. Dubinsky steps up. On to Matt Calvert. Gets away from him. Suter for Koivu. Scandella. Fans are enjoying this one. We got the wave going. It's been a while since I've seen that in the building.
Ooh, that puck went off quick there. Coaches had to duck. As we take a look at the PNC game summary here. As you mentioned, Hartnell had 6 hits to lead the Blue Jackets. They've dominated that in a lot of the games, Jeff. I've seen the hits. Block shots. The Wild had that 10-5, but I really like the way the Jackets have come out the second half of this game.
Scandella rips it wide. Thrown back in front. Scandella, who pinched in. Not protecting that left point. Wild forced out. Scandella tosses it back in, but the Jackets are quick. Foligno down that left side. Foligno, little toe drag, and then Kemper forced to make a stop as the jacket is deposited in the blue paint. And Parise protecting the Blue Jacket player. It was a good move of sportsmanship there displayed, as Foligno ended up right in that blue paint.
Watch Foligno here. He's got the puck. He's got speed. Watch this little move. Brings it way back behind his body, and then, geez, he went in there awkwardly. It looks like he uses his skates after this play. What a play. To keep that puck around. But as he goes to the net to follow it up, watch here. He tries to use his skate to keep it up to his stick. Kemper, boy, he's done a great job. Kemper standing his ground, making the big saves. And really cutting down the angles. The Jackets only have one good attempt. That second one gets eaten up.
Far side of the ice. Crosser. Oh boy, that hurt.
That's Cracknell.
Adam Cracknell dropped in front of that one, sacrificing the body. And he's going to be in a heap of trouble here. He wants to walk down that runway. He's got to walk it off. Ooh. Dalton Prout off the wall. Hartnell moving in. Hartnell with the puck, protects it. Off a skate. Approaching the 14-minute mark. There's Carter with a backhand. It's sent off into the corner. Dalton Prout could play it. Toss there to Tooten. Off the wall, Hartnell. Suter sends it ahead. Fontaine. There's a quick shot. Rayovac that's turned aside. Rayovac again attempting to get it to the big forward. Taken out of the play by Wenberg along the boards. Battle ensues. Matt Cook deals it back to the point. Long shot deflected off the mark. Suter pitching in. Jackets send it up, but not out. Cook. Far side of the ice.
Well, that didn't miss by much. It got tipped off the Blue Jackets. Might have been Moran's stick. And then the defenseman didn't touch it, just missed the far post past Bobrovsky.
Prout trying to move the Minnesota.
He's asking Cook if he wants to dance. Cook's not dancing tonight.
Oh boy, he trips up Foligno. And the crowd looking for a penalty to be called. There's a shot and a save made by Bobrovsky. 4:54 left. Jackets 2. The Wild 1. Two outstanding goaltending performances. Bobrovsky on the left, Kemper on the right. And time for tonight's Ohio Health Great Save.
And it's a great example of Sergei, how he's locked in. Look at him get to the top of his crease. Makes that initial save. But Fontaine works his way in and gets that rebound. That initial shot is from Matt Cook, and that's a quick shot. Look at that. Puck bouncing around. Sergei stays right with it. And boy, he heard from his home fans in appreciation of that effort.
Pominville attempting to play it along the boards. Jackets come up with it. Foligno had it projected away. And dumped behind Bobrovsky, who leaves it for Savard. Less than 5 minutes left. Third period. Jackets with a go-ahead goal from David Savard on the power play at 5:57 of the third. Wild on the board with a power play goal from Parise in the first. Connaughton tied it up in the final seconds, final minute of the second. And it's 2-1 here with 4:20 left. Matt Calvert in deep.
Good job by Matt Calvert. Him and Koivu. Koivu is a forward playing defense there, covering up. Calvert tried to outrace him.
Spurgeon a shot, getting the stick on it there to deflect it. Ryan Johansson, another big defensive play by the Jackets' #1 senator. Well, the next telecast, as we mentioned earlier, the Blue Jackets will be in Phoenix to start the 4-game road trip against the Coyotes. Coverage begins Saturday at 7:30. Brian Kiesenslaw, Bill Davitt, Blue Jackets live pregame, and then 8 o'clock for the opening faceoff as the Jackets kick off the 2015 portion of their NHL schedule. Here tonight, bring the curtain down on 2014. They've reached the midway point. This is their 20th home game. So the midway point of the home schedule tonight on New Year's Eve. Faceoff will come to Sergei Bobrovsky's right. Coyle and Johansson. Exactly 4 minutes remain. Johansson wins the draw. He's had a whale of a night in the faceoff circle. Backhanded out of the zone. Hartnell sends it to center. Coyle is on it. Stepping up there is Morin. Hartnell along the wall. Tooten gets it to Morin with Hartnell and Johansson. The three cross the line. Morin hangs on. High slot. Turning away. Throws it behind the net. Hartnell let it go to Johansson, who shot from a sharp angle.
That was a tough angle. His stick was just above the goal line. Tried to put it actually on Kemper's back. Didn't miss by much.
There's Scandella battling against Morin. Hartnell able to poke check it away. On the left wing, Niederreiter. Niederreiter, the former teammate of Johansson, who's in pursuit. And now Johansson, with the puck deep in the zone, will race off. 3:12 left. Not only former teammates, but former line mates with the Portland Winterhawks. 3:05 left.
Johansson and that line, they've been dynamic at both ends all night, but love their defensive play. Ryan Johansson, just great decisions. Done great things in the face-off circle. He's been strong there. But we saw a great, really super effort on the back check. And just that stick in the lane. A couple, just the start of that shift. We just saw him out there. You know, he's not getting the goals, but I tell you what, his teammates sure appreciate that effort. Those little details we speak of on the penalty kill. And he brings the 5-on-5 game.
Dominating the faceoff circle. You saw that graphic just a few moments ago. And that's on the heels of a 74% faceoff win percentage, winning 20 of 27 drives Saturday night against the Boston Bruins. Bouncing puck wide of the net. Played by Savard. Away from Matt Cook. Off the wall. Jackets' first attempt to clear. Fails. Skilly. Moved by Chaput. And it's deep in the zone. Kemper now. Down the glass. Savard has it hop over his stick. And back to retrieve. But icing is the call.
Todd Richards is going to get Dubinsky, Calvert, Foligno on the ice. Offensive zone face-off. right away. Good little play by Michael Chaput there on the initial dump. He didn't just send it in. He sent it in and created some pressure on the defender. And that caused that defender to make a rush decision, and that led to an icing. And here's an offensive zone faceoff. You can see Wisniewski out there too. Offensive-minded players here late in the game. Try to put this one out of reach.
Nick Foligno walking out of the corner. Rayovac chasing. Below the goal line. Oh, he tried to backhand on the wraparound attempt, and Kemper holds on. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
Now that line goes off, and here comes Johansson with Hartnell. I like that decision by Brandon Dubinsky on that last attack. He looked up, he thought about passing it back to the slot. That dangerous play, and you think, why? It's in the offensive zone. Well, what if it bounces over a stick against the blue line? He just takes it himself right to the pad of Kemper and tries to create some kind of disruption rather than throw that pass and hope it connects.
Smart play by the Jackets centerman, and good call. Nice illustration there, Jody. 1:45 left. Jackets have made smarter plays as this game has worn on.
Yeah, they really have, and it just didn't seem like they had the jump, but they seem to be on their heels, and I think it was, you have to credit the Wild.
Long shot there, Kemper making it to the hash mark, waiting for the word from Coach Yo. Wild trying to establish some offensive presence, and now Kemper gets the word, but offside against the Wild. And that'll bring Kemper back.
Breezy surprise there. Didn't look like offside from here either, but a lot of things look easy up here, though. In the booth.
Happy New Year, partner.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Jeff. Yeah, Happy New Year. Here's a timeout.
Wild have called the timeout. And that will give the Jackets an opportunity here to go over to Craig Hartsburg. And he will talk to the troops there from a defensive perspective, while Mike Yeo visits with his skaters in an effort to establish some offensive presence here. A minute 16 remaining.
You know, and this is that time, decision. You talk about decisions and what are you going to do with the puck? And there's little ways to give the other team advantage. Watch this play by Dubinsky I spoke of earlier. Watch him. He gets his head up here. He looks high, but he just tries to keep it down in the blue paint. You don't know who's going to get a stick on it. You've seen so many times a pass from the goal line out to the middle, and then it's a 3-on-2. Love that decision by Brandon Dubinsky and his line mates.
Buck hammered in. Kemper hustles out of the net as Suter rifles it deep into Jackets territory. A minute 5 remaining. Dubinsky tied up there by Pominville. Far side of the ice. Thrown here to the near corner for Pominville again. Suter. Point. Less than a minute to go. Suter. Ahead for Pominville. Suter. Watch that puck at the left point. Tries to send it through. It's deflected and out of play. A face-off again coming in Jackets territory.
You see the forward, Foligno goes down, takes the knee, and so does Savard. Savard goes down and up all night long. He's not just standing on his skates out there using his stick. This guy's up and down, on his belly, on his back, whatever it takes. See Savard here at the kind of the middle bottom of your screen. He gets out a little bit. Here comes Nick Foligno. You got Dubinsky in there. They're just waiting, and there's Savard down on that knee.
Johnson attempted to play it. Parisi sends it off the glass, and Foligno is able to backhand it deep into Minnesota territory. And icing is the call.
Oh, that's something else. For that to be an icing call is pretty incredible. But the race is to the top of the... to the dot there. And that puck was barely moving. I thought that was a smart play by Foligno. Just enough legs to make it all the way down. So the Jackets got a big face-off to the right of Bobrovsky, and Johansson handles that almost with pleasure.
Out of the zone, the net empty. Johansson shoots, scores. That's the way to end the goalless streak. An empty net goal to seal it for the Jackets. It's 3-1 Columbus.
And this crowd is going to have a happy New Year, Jeff. Celebration tonight. And boy, I tell you what, when you have a teammate that scores an empty net goal, a guy who's worked hard, paid attention to detail, yeah, he's not celebrating, but that's got to feel pretty good. I'll tell you, his teammates feel happy for him. Look at that. There you go. That tells it all right there. Dubinsky, Foligno saying, hey, buddy, you've earned that one.
Now, talking to Johansson, Jody, you know him as well as anybody being in those dressing rooms day in, day out. When you have a goal scorer like Johansson and not scoring, it kind of bothers him. And Johansson certainly let it be known that it's bothering him. But you know what? He's played a 200-foot game. You've talked, you've showed where he's come back and made the defensive play. He's won face-offs. An all-round game for this youngster. And boy, he can be as good as he wants to be.
Well, that's his first goal of December. The team now is going to have a 10-1-1 in December. That's a heck of a month. He's only got one goal. It's an empty netter, but him and his teammates are proud of the way they played to this month. Happy New Year, Jeff, and hope they continue on the road.
Well, the Blue Jackets have extended an outstanding month of December with a come-from-behind win here over the Minnesota Wild. The Wild file out. The Jackets celebrate and show some love for their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky standing tall, in particular that opening period in which Minnesota outshot the Jackets 12-8. And now, there it is. The celebration, Foligno and Bobrovsky. Foligno celebrates in the style. 500th National Hockey League game, signs a contract, and the Jackets put a bow on it with a victory.